Hello, and welcome to another week of Meditation Mondays. So, welcome to all the occupiers of White City Place. Thank you for being here, and I hope you're all feeling great. I think there's a really great buzz around London at the moment, if you're still in London. With everything starting to open up a little bit, you can just feel the life and vibe of the city. So, that's really, really cool. So yeah, with the nice weather as well, I hope you're all enjoying a little bit of a change and also that idea of things just getting a little bit easier now. So it's really, really great. So, yes, if you haven't meditated with me before, I just talk for a little bit at the beginning, and then I'll guide you through a guided meditation. Um, and what I tend to do at the end of the session is I will leave you in that zone rather than having to bring you back out if you're in a good space. Um, and I'll let you know when that is, but I will just kind of let you know when I'm leaving, and then you can sit there for as long as it feels nice. So I can touch on that a little bit actually right now. Yeah, when we're meditating, we're all going to be meditating at different times for different lengths of time as well. The good thing about a guided meditation is, of course, that you might meditate for a little bit longer than usual if you're used to just meditating for a few minutes. It kind of encourages you to stay there and gives you something to focus on. But the idea is that you find, of course, your own meditation practice because there's nothing more liberating than um, being able to take your meditation anywhere and use it at any time. So when you learn to meditate yourself, um, you'll get all that benefits of then understanding that your meditation sessions are completely transportable and they are 24/7 and with you for life. No one could take them away from you. So it's really good to learn how to do that. And there will be days when you might feel, oh, I don't have enough time to meditate today. Or the classic is, oh, I'm feeling quite good today. I don't really feel like I need to do it. Now, your brain doesn't really know the difference between, I was going to say, between feeling good and feeling bad. Of course, it does. It reacts in a certain way. But um, you feed your brain. So without you telling your brain what's going on, your brain is just like a machine, really. It just takes orders from you. It takes orders from your perceptions of the world, how you see things, how you interpret those things, and then it acts accordingly. So your perceptions and your beliefs are really, really important. It's not the other way around, where the brain tells you you're upset or you're going to be happy today. It's how you choose to perceive the world, and then the brain acts accordingly. Stress is a really good example of that. If, say, a stressful event happens, there are two ways of dealing with it in a lot of situations. I'm not talking about life and death or um, you know clinical depression or anxiety or anything like that. I'm talking about the everyday little stresses that we probably sweat too much on. Often there's an opportunity to either react or respond. And when we learn to respond, we're kind of taking that little beat. We're not knee jerk reacting to the situation. So we are taking time to work it out. We're allowing everything to settle down. We're seeing it in a different way and trying to spin it into a positive, or at least not get affected negatively by it. So your perception at that point is then going to feed the brain. So we learn to calm down this reactionary response that we have through meditation. And I started this little conversation off about saying, "Oh, I'm feeling quite good. I don't need to meditate today." Um, so the reason I bring it up about the brain being a machine and just going on your perceptions is the more you practice anything, the better you're going to get at it. And meditation is exactly the same. So if you miss out those days when you're feeling good and you think, "Oh, I don't need to meditate," you're missing out a practice session. Um, and so And it might also be that you're feeling really good because you've got lots on in a good way, not in a stressful way, just a kind of like, yeah, I've got this, I've got that, and then I'm going to see blah, blah, and I've got this to do, and it feels good. I'm up and I'm up. Oh, I don't want to sit down and meditate. If you have days like that, which are going to be more common as things start to open up and the sun comes out, you just want to get out there and do your thing. Um, you can do little blocks of meditation. So you could meditate for 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there throughout the day, or you can check yourself. So, an example would be yeah, I was walking past the pond in the park today, and I kind of heard a bit of a kind of rustle of feathers actually. And I could have just kind of like, oh, it's just a swan, whatever, walk on. But I didn't. I chose to stop and look and watch the swan kind of really opening up its um, feathers so that it would then kind of propel itself along a little bit further along the water. And it was so beautiful, and the sun was shining right there, and the glittery water reflection and the white swan. It was just so beautiful. So you can choose to stop and notice. And those little moments are little mindful moments. And you can just have little increments of those throughout the day and just kind of like add them up if you want to. You can kind of have a string of lovely, beautiful, mindful moments if you're in one of those days where you just don't want to sit down and meditate. But I do recommend meditating every day um, for whatever time you can manage. I think it's really a great skill to learn. That's all it is. It's I guess you could say it's a bit like learning a new language, but not even as complicated as that. You don't have to learn the whole alphabet, in terms of all the nuances of a language. Meditation is just a practice. It's really more, rather than learning the tools so much, it's more about repetition. So let's get into it. So yeah, look at the time. So yeah, we're good. Okay. So just to start with, I don't want you to close your eyes yet. Just allow yourself to um, be in your space and look around your room. But really look. So notice things. And if it helps, even if you think it's the most inane, mundane thing in your living room, like a sofa cushion, look at it. And you can even say it in your mind's eye, cushion, and really look at it. So I want you to look around your room, and then I want you to choose five things in your space. And like I say, it can be as mundane as you like. It could be a pair of glasses lying on the sofa or a TV remote. Doesn't matter what it is, a plant, whatever. So just take your time, have a look, and really be in this moment right now. What am I looking at? Don't have to look for anything because you're already looking at it. So whatever it might be, choose five things. Just with each thing that you stop and look at, just notice a couple of things about it. Might be the color of it, might be the size, might be the texture, whether the light is shining on it. Don't have to analyze it too much. Okay, now close your eyes. Now, with your eyes closed, I want you to recall those five things in your living space, or wherever you are. You could be outside, wherever you are. And I want you to see them each individually, one by one, and just notice them as if you were looking at them with your eyes open, but keeping your eyes closed. All right, now once you've recalled those, I want you to listen for three or four sounds. Now, these sounds can be really distant, as in a long way away, or they can be very local, i.e., around your body, might even be your body, might be a heartbeat or a clicking of a watch, maybe, or your breathing, sound of my voice, might be your laptop, might have a bit of a whir about it. Or there might be somebody in your neighborhood or your apartment, your house, or the same room even that you can hear, or maybe somewhere else. Just take a moment to choose three or four sounds. Don't worry if you can't find three, a couple of them will do. And then when you've got that, just focusing on the things that you can feel. So don't have to move or touch anything with your hands, just in terms of how you're sitting. So it might be where your bottom is sitting against whatever it's sitting on, that contact point. It might be the feeling of the backs of your hands, maybe on your clothes that are covering your lap. Or it might be something that you can feel in your body, maybe a little bit of discomfort or a bit of heat from something, or some sun on your face, or a cool part of your body. Just a couple of things that you can feel. And then the last thing is just one smell that maybe you can smell in your space. There may be nothing. There may be nothing, but there might be a deodorant that you put on earlier, or something that you cooked or somebody else cooked. It might be nothing. Doesn't matter. Now I want you to bring all of those experiences together. So I want you to bring into your mind's eye four or five things that you saw in your living room. Let's take a moment to collect those. You can look at them individually or bring them into a group if you like, or just see them on a more larger scale, panoramic view of them around you. The sounds that you heard, a couple of things that you can feel in your body or where it's sitting, and maybe if you can smell something right now. So just bringing all of that together. And this is everything that's happening in your here and now, right now, this moment. So you can let all of that go now and just notice the air coming into your body. So whether it's coming in through your nose or your mouth, noticing it coming in, but traveling down the back of the rib cage into the lungs and back out again. So noticing the air coming in all the way to the lungs and out. Just taking a few of those in and out. So try not to force your breath. Just be very relaxed with it. And you can notice now whether or not when you breathe in, if the rib cages are moving away from each other a little bit, and or if it's reaching into your belly as well. So your abdominal muscles are soft, but you can feel the abdominal breathing. So the belly might expand a little bit as well as the rib cage, and then it all contracts again on the exhale. So just noticing that, but don't try and breathe a certain way. Just let this be your natural breath. You don't have to breathe huge amounts of air or volume to allow your belly to expand. It can be very subtle breath as well. So just taking a couple more like this. Just noticing your breath. Keep going while I just tell you what the next thing is going to be, and then you can just lead straight back and straight into that. So keep breathing the way that you are and noticing the breath coming in and out of your body. That's what I tell you what's next. So then we're going to be doing a breathing in for a count of 6. And we're going to hold the breath for a count of 2, and then we're going to let it go for a count of 7 or 8. And I will talk you through all of that. You don't have to think about it. We're just going to do that 5 times. Just noticing your breath coming in and out. All right, and then just pausing for a moment between your breaths. When I count to 3, I want you to let go of all of your breath. So breathing in first, 1, 2, 3, and let it all go. And breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold it, 2, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold it, 2, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold it, 2, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold it, 2, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Last one. 8. Breathing in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And hold it. 2, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Let all of that go. And just notice the air coming in and out of your body now, just like you did before, not breathing a certain way, not counting. Just notice the breath coming in and out of your body again. Notice if it's changed a bit. Quite often, when we do a conscious breath exercise like the one we just did, it can be quite tiring. So you're going to feel that recovery breath when you return to normal. So just noticing that, how it feels as it comes into your body and leaves your body. Now we're going to do another one, another breath exercise. So just keep breathing the way that you're doing, noticing the air coming in and out, just as I'm talking. So the next one, we're going to be doing a coherent breath exercise where we breathe in for the same amount of time as we breathe out. So it's going to be breathing in for 5 and breathing out for 5 as well. So it's going to be even-sided. And I'll be doing the first few with you. Then I'm going to let you do it for a total of 5 minutes. And I'll be looking at the time, so you don't need to worry about anything. You don't have to open your eyes. I'll keep you there. Yeah. So we're going to start off that any moment now. And don't worry, I will talk you through, and so you don't have to think about anything or remember. All right. So just like we did before, when I count to 3, I'd like you to let go of all of your breath. So breathing in, 2, 3, let go of all of your breath. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5. And in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5. And in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5. And in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5. And in, keep going. Keep counting for yourself now. 5 in and 5 out. So it might take a little bit of practice to get the breath even. You might find when you first start doing this that you breathe in too much oxygen at the beginning and you can't make the 5 count. It's okay, you just keep practicing until you get the levels right. The most important thing is you try and keep more of a relaxed breath. It'll be slightly longer than your normal relaxed breath, so there is a bit of effort there. But try not to push too hard. And what we're also going to try and do is we're going to try and soften the edges. So instead of jagged peaks at the top of the in and at the bottom of the out, try and think of them as little rounded corners, as if you're turning the bend into the next breath. So just really noticing a few things like that. I'm going to do this for 5 minutes now. Don't worry if thoughts come into your mind. You'll probably be counting subconsciously as the thoughts come in anyway. So just remind yourself to go back to focusing on the breath. And a really nice place to rest your visual awareness is behind your eyelids. So you can just try and keep your focus there as you're doing your counting. Whenever you're ready, just coming to the end of your last five. That was 5 minutes of you doing it, which is a really good time. 5 minutes of coherent breath is really good for you on many levels. But it's really good for heart variability. Your heart follows the breath rate. So we slow down and we keep this really nice, even sided breath. The heart responds in a really good way, in that you're not overworking your heart. It's a really nice, balanced breath. So, doing that for 5 minutes every day is really good. And you might have noticed there's a little, well, you might not have noticed, but there's a little sound that happened in my house just as we're coming out of that, which I could have really reacted to. It was quite loud. You may not have heard it. But the reason I bring it up is that it's really good to notice how you respond to thoughts or sounds when you're meditating. Trying to just let them be a distant thing that's not really affecting you or your space right now. We don't have to react to the sounds that we hear. So, coming back to the visual awareness behind your eyelids, depending on where you're sitting in your room, whether you're near a window or not, will determine the color that you see behind your eyes. So, just trying to keep that color there for a moment. Try not to change anything, just staying with whatever you can see behind your eyelids. And again, if thoughts come in, that's okay. Just come back to looking at the back of your eyelids. And now I want you to in place of the eyelids, I want you to imagine a rose, just the head of the rose. So it takes up the whole of the back of your eyelids. You've kind of zoomed in to the head of the rose. It's a pink rose. So, really noticing the color and how the pink is slightly deeper towards the center of the rose. Noticing all the different layers of the petals. And then just taking a little sniff so you can smell the rose. I want you to bring the idea of the smell of the rose into your awareness so you can really get a good scent. And now I want you to imagine that it's been raining so you can see the odd drop of water on the petals, but also with rain that really heightens the experience. The smell will be slightly stronger. So see if you can smell that a little bit more now. And with that, you can also smell the soil that's now wet from the rain that the rose bush is sitting in. It's getting that really nice, heady aroma. But also really looking at the rose in your mind's eye, the texture of the petals, how although it may be pink, it's got different shades of pink, different petals. Breathing in the smell. And then slowly allowing the image of the rose to fade. And then you're back looking at the back of your eyelids again. And just getting a sense of what you feel grateful for. And when I say grateful, quite often we can dramatize that, oh, I'm so grateful for this. And then we can't think of anything that we feel that much gratitude for. So it can be confusing. So I just want you to think about the things that you do have rather than the things that you don't have. It's just a nice way to start. If you think about the things that you have in your life, that brings gratitude with it. Just by thinking about what you have, what do I have? And let that idea of everything that you have fill you up. Let that feeling of gratitude take over your body so you start to embody it. It can be many things or just one thing that you're thinking about to bring in the sense of that feeling, just like you brought in the sense of the smell of the rose. It's the same idea. Just bringing in the sense of the feeling and really allowing your body to feel it. And it also helps a little bit to have a little bit of a smile on your face, and that can really help trigger the serotonin levels in your body just by turning up the corners of your mouth. So, this is where I leave you to sit with this feeling as long as it feels good. Embody it. Just see how long you can hold on to it. And just be very careful that when you come out of your meditation, you do so really slowly and mindfully. And when it gets tricky in your day, you can just think about the things that you have and just take a moment or two to recognize them. But just stay with this as long as it feels nice. And thank you for being here. And I will be here next week.